It was one of those nights where the rain didn't just fall, it pounded. The kind of rain that made you question why you ever took this job in the first place. I was the only one left at the pizza shop, closing up after a long shift. The storm outside was relentless, and I was ready to call it a night. But then, the phone rang. I almost didn't answer it. Who needs a pizza this late? But something made me pick it up. Maybe it was the monotony of the job, or maybe it was some sense of duty. Either way, I regretted it the second I heard the voice on the other end. "One large pizza," the voice said, low and raspy, like they hadn't spoken in years. "Extra cheese, extra pepperoni, and make it quick." I didn't like the sound of that, but orders were orders, and I needed the money. I punched in the address and instantly felt disappointed. It was all the way out in the edge of town, past the old cemetery. Great. Just where I wanted to be on a night like this. The storm was worse than I thought. My windshield wipers were at full blast, but they barely kept up with the downpour. The roads were slick, and the wind howled like it was trying to warn me about something. I should have turned back, but I didn't. Stupid, I know. When I finally pulled up to the house, my stomach dropped. It was an old, crumbling Victorian mansion, the kind you see in horror movies. The porch light flickered, and the windows were dark. No car in the driveway, no signs of life, just the storm and the house staring back at me like it was waiting. I grabbed the pizza and made a run for the door. The rain soaked me to the bone. I knocked once. No answer. Twice. Still nothing. I was about to leave when the door creaked open on its own. A cold draft hit me, carrying the smell of mildew and something metallic. "Hello?" I called out, my voice shaky. "Pizza delivery?" No response. Just dead silence. I stepped inside, against my better judgment. The floorboards groaned under my feet, and the air felt heavy, like it was pressing down on me. I set the pizza down on a nearby table and called out again. Still nothing. That's when I heard it. A faint whisper, coming from upstairs. It was too quiet to make out if they were words or just the wind, but it sent a chill down my spine. I told myself it was just the wind, but deep down, I knew better. I turned to leave, but the door slammed shut behind me. My heart raced as I fumbled with the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The whisper grew louder, more insistent, and then I saw it, a shadow moving at the top of the stairs. It was tall, too tall, and it didn't move like a person. It floated through the air, like it was made of smoke. I backed away, my breath coming in short, panicked breathing. The shadow started moving down the stairs, and I could see its eyes, glowing, red, and full of hate. When it reached for me, I ran as fast as I could, throwing myself against the door until it finally gave way. I didn't look back, I just ran, the rain and wind whipping me in the face as I sprinted to the car. I peeled out of the driveway, my hands shaking on the wheel. When I got back to the shop, I locked the doors and just sat there, breathing heavy, trying to calm myself down. I closed the shop and drove home. When I woke up the next morning, I found the pizza box I had left overnight in my passenger seat slightly open. I opened it. It was empty, except for a single sentence scratched on the inside in what looked like blood. "Thanks for the pizza." I quit that day. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear whispers. and I wonder if it's coming from outside or inside my head. It was another late shift, the kind that stretches endlessly when you're the last one at the store. Outside, the storm raged, rain slamming against the windows as if desperate to get in. I was just about to lock up when the order came through. 1 pizza, extra cheese, and pepperoni to some remote cabin in the woods. Perfect. No tip, I could already tell. But skipping the order wasn't an option. Everything was tracked digitally now, and my boss would know. The drive was rough. The roads were slick with mud. The wind howled through the trees. And my GPS kept auto-correcting itself even though I was going straight, as though it didn't want me to find the place. But I did, eventually. The cabin was barely visible through the downpour, tucked deep into the woods, its windows glowing softly like dying embers of a fire. I grabbed the pizza and ran as quick as I could to the door. The rain soaked me instantly. I knocked. Nothing. Knocked again a second time, louder. Pizza delivery. Still, no answer. I was just about to leave the box on the porch when I noticed the door was slightly open, so I pushed through. Hello? My voice barely carried over the storm. I hesitated, but then I stepped inside. The air was warm, rich, with an unfamiliar scent. Something sweet, intoxicating, like jasmine and sage. The dim lighting in the room cast it in gold and shadow, flickering against the polished wooden floor. Then I saw her. She lounged in a chair near the fireplace, her long legs crossed, a silk robe slipping from one shoulder. She was breathtaking, unreal in her beauty. Thick, dark curls cascaded over her shoulder, and her lips curved into a beautiful smile when she saw me. "You're late," she said, her voice velvety smooth. I swallowed hard. Yeah, sorry. The roads were bad." She signaled for me to come closer. "Bring it here." Something in my gut twisted, a primal instinct telling me to leave, but my feet moved anyways. The air around her felt heavy, charged, like the moment before a lightning strike. I set the pizza on a small table beside her, trying not to stare at the way her robe barely clung to her body. Her fingers brushed mine as she took the box. She felt ice cold. When we touched, I flinched. "You're shaking," she observed, tilting her head. "Cold?" I forced a laugh. "Yeah, the storm's brutal." Then she smiled wider, and I noticed something interesting. She had some canines, all right, but they looked a little too sharp. "Let me warm you up." Every instinct screamed at me to leave, but I was rooted in place, trapped in the depths of her gaze. Her eyes, God, her eyes, were the color of liquid amber, flowing faintly into the dim light. I should get going," I stammered, stepping back. The look on her face didn't change, but something in the room did. The shadows stretched unnaturally, curling towards me like grasping fingers. The warmth thickened into something oppressive, suffocating. "Oh, don't rush off," she purred, standing now, the silk robe slipping further, revealing flawless skin. "You've come all this way. Stay a while." I stumbled back, my hand searching for the door handle, but when I turned, the door was gone, just smooth wooden walls where the door used to be. Panic clawed my throat. What is this?" She sighed, a sound almost disappointed. "For a minute there, You were doing so well." Her voice lost its playfulness, turning cold and hollow. They never last long once they realize what's really happening. I turned to run, but she was already in front of me, impossibly fast. Her fingers caught my wrist, no longer cold, but burning. The robe fell away completely, revealing something wrong. Her skin shimmered, shifting, her form warping between devastating beauty and something ancient, something monstrous. Her smile stretched impossibly wide. "I like them younger, you know. So much life in them." I finally broke free and I ran. The shadows lunged at me, but I didn't stop. I didn't even think. I just ran. I saw a window ahead, my only escape. In desperation, I threw myself through it, glass shattering as I tumbled into the mud outside. The wind howled around me, but I could still hear her laughter, low, growling, and evil. My hands fumbled with my keys as I scrambled to the car. I put the keys in and the engine roared to life, tires spinning in the mud before I tore down the road. I just looked forward and didn't look in the rearview mirror. I quit the pizza job the next day, and I never went in those woods again. But sometimes when I'm walking down the street, I hear a little voice that feels like it's traveling in the wind. "Come back, won't you? You were almost mine. Come back, won't you? You were almost mine." It was another late shift, and I was the last one left at the shop. The place was already cleaned up, chairs stacked, lights dimmed. I was just about to clock out when the order came through. They wanted 5 large pizzas to some mansion way out in the hills. This should actually be a good tip though, so it'll be worth the extra effort. Those rich people are usually so drunk at night, they tip you enough to put you through college. So I relit the oven, made 5 pizzas, locked up, and started the drive. The mansion was slightly out of town, past the quiet neighborhoods, past the streetlights, up into the hills where the houses sat dark and empty most of the year. Summer homes for the rich. But it wasn't summer, and nobody was supposed to be up there. The roads twisted through the winding hills, lined with dense trees that loomed overhead. My phone kept falling off the center by my shifter, where I had haphazardly set it up so I could see the directions. These new cars don't have any place to put a cell phone these days, like they probably don't want you to watch anything while you're driving. I eventually came up on the address. The mansion was massive, 3 stories, stone pillars, a long circular driveway leading up to an entrance bigger than my whole apartment. The windows were dark, except for one faint glow from an upstairs room. I parked, grabbed the pizza, and headed up the stairs. The place was dead silent. No crickets, no wind, just nothing. The door was open though, so I went inside. "Hello?" There was no answer. Most of the lights were out, and I did not hear anyone or anything. Because the neighborhood was nice, I was less on guard than I should have been. With this new unsettling feeling, I glanced back at my car, debating whether just to leave the box on the porch and bail, or finish the job. Hello?" I called, going past the doorway through the main hallway, looking for the house owner so I could get my big tip and get out of there. I was starting to get a little scared though. I had put myself in a bad position. I was all alone in a strange house and had forgot my pepper spray at the shop. I swallowed hard. "Anyone home? I've got your pizzas." I heard a noise that seemed to come from deeper inside the house, and I heard faint whispering that seemed to be coming from upstairs, so there was definitely somebody in the house. At this point, I wasn't really feeling like talking to them anymore and just wanted to get out of there. So I put the pizza down and turned to leave. But before I turned around, the door slammed shut behind me. Someone had pulled the door shut from outside of the house. Suddenly, there were footsteps, more than one pair, coming fast. I turned towards the sound, just as a figure emerged from the shadows. A man with a dark hoodie, face covered, then another man, and another. They stepped out from behind the furniture, from the doorways, moving in like a pack of wolves. I backed up, gripping the pizza box like it was some kind of shield. "Hey man, I just delivered the food," I said, my voice shaking. One of them chuckled. "Yeah, and you're also the only one that knows you're out here." My stomach dropped. On that note, I turned and ran for the front door. I hit the door hard, rattling the handle, but it wouldn't budge. It was locked. "Wrong move," one of them said with an evil delight. I hurled the pizza box at the closest guy. He fell back when the hot pizza flew out of the box and the cheese stuck to his face. I took the opening, sprinting past him, deeper into the house. My heart pounded as I raced down the hallway, past some rich guy's family portraits and rooms full of luxury furniture. I spotted a side door. As I ran full speed for it, someone grabbed the back of my collar, yanking me back. I hit the floor hard, my vision going white with pain. Hands grabbed me, rough, pulling, but I punched and kicked, my knee connecting with someone's ribs. I must have been high on adrenaline, because I threw that guy right through the sliding glass door. I ran through the new opening to my freedom. "Get him!" another shouted. I could hear them inside, cursing, running towards me through the side door opening. I didn't stop, though. I sprinted across the lawn, my car in sight. My hands fumbled with the keys, shaking as I unlocked the door and threw myself inside. Just as I slammed the door shut and locked it, I finally saw them. 4 men standing on the porch, staring at me, watching. One of them had picked up the pizza box, holding it like it was some joke. I floored it, tires screeching as I tore out of the driveway, speeding down the winding road, not looking back. I went straight to the police, and I told them what happened. They went to check it out, but no one was there. The police finally got the number for the homeowner of the house, and found out that they had not been there for 6 months, as it was a summer home. I don't know what those guys wanted with me, but whatever it was not good. In an unfamiliar location, make sure you always have an escape route. I backed away, my breath coming in short with panicked gasps. I don't know if I want to say that. The drive was the wind shrieked. The wind. She gestured. I set the pee-pee. Oh, what? The pee-pee. I set my pee-pee on a table. That's so stupid. Her expression. Come on. Her expression. "You were doing so well." Her voice lost its playfulness. Oh, let's do it again. "You were doing so well. You were doing so well." Her voice lost its playfulness. "You were doing so well." I just drove forward and didn't look behind. In the rear view mirror, what the hell? Outside, the storm range. Those rich people usually are so drunk late at night when they tip you. Those rich people. I wasn't really feeling like engaging with them anymore, though. Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. I just delivered the food, said my voice shaking. Just speeding down the winding. That's when the phone rang. That's when the phone rang. Like someone that smoked a pack of cigarettes every day for their whole life. Make it quick. Wait. Make it quick. They said. Make it quick. They said. But it was the face that really made my turtle head poke out. This thing in front of me was a vampire. I knew it. And then I thought about something. He ordered... In my panic, I thought he ordered a meat lover's pizza and a side of garlic bread. Why would he order a side of garlic bread, I thought? Vampires are allergic to garlic, and he has ordered garlic cheese bread. What an idiot. So I rip open the garlic cheese bread, and I throw one at him. And he died, and I hate this story. I'm gonna quit.